Hey everybody, it's Friday, June 19th. It's like late morning, early afternoon, right on the cusp of noon, I guess. I don't know. We're going to talk about Star Trek again, even though I already really kind of talked about Star Trek big time across the board. There's a couple things I left out that I think are very important that should be addressed, or at least should be stated. I wasn't going to post it on Facebook. I was going to write something. I'm like, you know what? Let me just do another video. What the heck? I love doing these videos. I hope you guys love them too. And if you do, please, if you're watching on Facebook or especially YouTube, just like that video and subscribe to my channel on YouTube, the Herbie J Pilato channel. Okay, and share. Okay, couple things. Gene Roddenberry, creator of Star Trek, the great bird of the galaxy, as he was known. You know, after the series ended and they started doing the feature films, beginning with 1979 Star Trek The Motion Picture, Gene wasn't that crazy about the movies. He liked them. They were okay, but he wasn't that crazy about them. And do you know why? Because he felt the movies were about Kirk and Spock and McCoy. And that's not what the series was about. Now, hear me out. The series was about the Enterprise, on which Kirk, Spock, and McCoy and the others, ventured on their 5-year mission. It was the A story, and I talked about the whole A story, B story thing in the other video. So if you want to watch that other Star Trek video that I did, it would be good. But the original series was about the A story adventure of the Enterprise going to strange new worlds with the crew, who had B stories in between them. Okay, they were part of the A story, certainly, but every once in a while you have the B story character interconnection. The movies became about the characters were the A story, and the adventure story was the B story. So, he wasn't that crazy about them. He liked them. I'm sure he got compensated for them, of course. But he preferred, Star Trek was about the Enterprise with the characters on them. A story, adventure, B story, character. That's how he saw this series. Other writers from Star Trek, like Margaret Armen, who worked on the original series, I think she did For the World is Hollow and I've Touched the Sky. And then the great, fantastic DC Fontana, Dorothy Fontana, who was sweetest person on the planet. I had the privilege of meeting her and knowing her. She did my pitch reel pilot for my TV show, then again with Herbie J Pilato on Amazon right now. And Dorothy, when she watched The Next Generation, and same thing with Margaret, they're like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Now, Dorothy, you got to remember, she wrote the 2-hour pilot for The Next Generation, Encounter at Farpoint, which was terrific. And I believe she served as a story editor on the first season of The Next Generation. But then, and that's my favorite, as I said in the other Star Trek video, that's my favorite of The Next Generation, the first season, because it's so much like the series. Why? The original series. Why? Because the A story was the adventure story, and the B story was the character story. Okay? Afterwards, the 2nd to 7th seasons on Next Generation, that all switched, and the A story became the characters. My dad, who was, my dad, okay? He wasn't like the Star Trek geek or whatever. It wasn't a science geek. We're watching the show, and I remember my cousin saying this too. God bless my cousin Evie, who was really like my sister. We grew up in the same house with me and my sister and my cousin Evie in Erie Street, Rochester. She says they don't go anywhere on the Next Generation. How come they never go anywhere? My father said the same thing. Herb, don't they ever go anywhere? Because he was used to the original series, going somewhere, adventure, imagination, color. Do I really have to talk about this again? I did so much in the first video, but can't help it. It was like the bottle stories, okay? They used to call them bottle stories on the original series. And they would do character stories. When the budget didn't allow for them to go to a planet, they have an episode that was focused on the ship only. And that would become, either a character study or some alien would come and they'd be stuck. Well, they would do that a lot on Next Generation. If it was some kind of, there's a different color mist every week on the Next Generation that came to the ship. Okay, another mist. There were no adventures. So my dad, my cousin Abby, and me were like, don't they ever go anywhere? Don't they ever go anywhere? Don't we ever see new civilizations? So that's it. Just wanted to mention those couple little things about Gene Roddenberry. Not really crazy about the feature films because they weren't about the Enterprise. They were about the characters instead. Too much of the characters. And I wanted to mention how Margaret Armen and DC Fontana were always like, what are they doing? What are they doing on the Next Generation? And my dad too, and my cousin Abby. Okay, you have a great day. By the way, Star Trek. I'm doing this on a Friday. Star Trek used to, in its final season, was aired on NBC 10 o'clock Friday nights. So it's kind of apropos to talk about Star Trek. Have a good weekend, everybody. Stay well, be peaceful, smile, and live your life joyfully.